Abendklasse. Okay, I bet you were wondering where your instructional video for Cycle 3 was. Well, I am creating it now. Sorry it's a bit late. So, bear with me. I'm going to do all three grades in one shot, so a couple things might be different, but I'll point them out. So you'll now have the Cycle 3 folder here on the Bitmoji Classroom, as well as an updated enrichment folder on the Bitmoji Classroom. So when you click on, you will see your instructional page, your enrichment folder, and then your Aktivitätsplatte Nummer 3 or activity board number 3 for the week. All right, so you go into the instructions page to see your Schoology badge. The video that I'm creating now will be above the Schoology badge. For completion of this cycle's assignments, you will receive 2 more spaces on the Candyland board, 4 more Klassen Euro, class euros, and 3 Hornet 5, or 3 Hornet 5s. All right, I'll go over enrichment quickly. So this is going to vary depending on whether you are in 6th, 7th, or 8th grade. It will be Nico's Weg for all 3 grades, but there will be different modules for each grade. So 7th grade, we're starting from the beginning because I realized that not every student was able to participate with Nico's Weg during the spring pandemic. So we're starting with Pablo. So you'll click on the link, and Pepe's going to join us here for a bit. Say hi, Pepe. All right, so if you click on the link, you'll be able to watch the video. And let me go there for you real quick. All right, so you'll be able to watch this video as many times as you like. And then scroll down. It tells you what you'll be learning, greetings, in this module. And then click Start. And you'll go through all the slides and just complete them as best you can. Remember, this is enrichment. It's just for your extra exposure to German and the German language. All right, so that's your enrichment for the week. The enrichment will yield you 2 extra spaces on the Candyland board, 3 extra Klassen Euro, and 2 extra Hornet 5s. Okay, and then back to the activity board. And remember, the order does go left to right, and then up to down. So left, right, and then the next row, and then the next row. So the first 2 are culture activities, and I encourage you to open both tabs at the same time, and I'll explain why. So open the Pear Deck, and then also open the language assessment. And so as you're going through this Pear Deck, you can look at the questions, all right, so that you see what we're looking for. And how are you feeling today? And you're going to go through all these slides. Now, the problem with a student assigned Pear Decks is that whatever the last student left the slide on, it stays at that slide. So at the bottom here, you see 21 out of 21, which is going to be confusing. So make sure you go all the way back to the beginning of the slide presentation. And then, as a courtesy, when you're finished the Pear Deck, if you go back to slide 1, then it will open up for the next person at slide 1 instead of at a different slide. So please do that if you remember. So go through the Pear Deck. You're going to learn about Germany, its geography, a little bit of history and culture, and then the German language. So complete the Pear Deck questions. There's a couple videos. Unfortunately, I did embed the same video in 2 slides. So when you get to this Rick Steve video about the Rhine River, on the next slide, you need not watch that a second time. And just read through the history, complete those activities. And when you're finished, you'll have this open so you'll be able to see these questions and begin them. And then if you don't remember something, you'll be able to toggle back to that tab and flip through the slide presentation to try to find the answer that you're looking for. So that is the first 2 assignments on the activity board. Okay, so Nummer 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 4, 5, and 6 all have to do with the same project, so bear with me. To begin the project, you're going to look at a sort of comic strip with a Google Slide presentation with voiceovers. So click on that. I'm feeling good. All right, so read through the instructions and then go through this. So the idea is to hit two of the modes of communication, listening and reading. You're going to read the comic strip. Try your best to see what they're talking about. The context is a boy and a girl who are meeting for the first time. So use those cognates, the words that look similar in our language or your language, English, and see if you can figure out what they're talking about. And please listen also to the recordings.
Guten Tag, wie heißt du?
Okay, for each one. Go through the slide presentation, answer the Pear Deck questions. All right, don't be discouraged if you don't understand much from it. It's okay. See what you can understand. And then when you're finished, depending on what grade you're in, there will be a short assessment or a couple pages assessment. Go ahead and do that. And then you have a vocabulary page. And the reason I put the vocabulary at the end of the presentation was because I want you to see what you can understand through the comic strip without looking at the vocabulary. After you get to the vocabulary, go through it, listen also, get that listening skill exercise in.
Heißen, heißen.
Okay, so go through the vocabulary, and then I want you to go back and read through the comic strip again and see what you can understand after looking at the vocabulary. Now, that vocabulary list is not every single word on here, but it should be enough to fill in the gaps so that you can understand the gist of what's going on. When you're finished, come back to the activity board, and you have Quizlet matching for vocabulary practice. Now, the matching, um, again, when you do Quizlet, you can also choose to do the flashcards or the gravity game. However, you want to practice that vocab on Quizlet is just fine. Then you have a play posit. The play posit is your practice for the project that I'll get to. All right, so this is a pronunciation exercise for the project. Now, whether or not you're very familiar with play posit, I want to show you exactly how you insert voice because that's what you're going to have to do as you're working through this play posit. You're going to listen to me say the phrases.
Ich heiße Mr. Win.
When you get to the first question or all the questions, you're going to have to click Use Rich Text. That's going to allow you to click the microphone. If you've never used this, it might ask you to allow the microphone. After you do that, click Record and record your best pronunciation. Ich heiße Herr Win. Click Stop. And then make sure you listen to your recording because sometimes it doesn't record for some reason. But also, you want to make sure you're happy with your recording.
Ich heiße Herr Win.
Sehr gut. And then click Upload. And submit and move on to the next question. Okay, come back to the activity board when you're finished. Then you have a Gimkit game with more vocabulary practice. And then comes the project. Now, this project is fun. It's a partner project, so I will assign you partners. Stay tuned for that. And you're going to create, while you're going to open this, I'm not going to show you exactly on here because I did do a little bit of an instructional video about how to start your comic scene and how to add voice. So I'm going to let you watch that. But you'll open up this document. Well, actually, I will tell you a couple things that I didn't mention in the other video. So I explained how to create this scene and add voice. But I just want to show you all the different options you have. So if you scroll through, there's a number of different scenes you can choose from. And then there's tons of different objects. okay, that you can go through. You may add your own objects, but the problem is you need to find objects that are transparent. All right, so you know what I mean? If you find an object or an image on Google, generally there's going to be a background that's in a square rectangular shape, and we want to get rid of that. So if you do want to add your own objects, you may do so by clicking Insert, Image, search the web, and then make sure you put transparent after anything that you search. So boy, transparent, and then maybe clip art. I always like to do so it's in a cartoon form. And that way you're not going to have that background that you normally would get with a Google image. Okay, so the object here is for you to create the partner that starts the scene is going to create the first scene, add a person, add whatever decoration you'd like to, and then add a call out. And I explained this in the other video. Um, by inserting a shape, call out, and then one of these bubble boxes. You can also rotate this character. So you can do that by right clicking, rotating, and flip horizontally if you want him to face a different direction. Okay, and then after you're finished with your voice, all right,
Ich schlafe gern.
And your part, you're going to tag your partner. All right, let them know via Schoology message, or if you're in class, let them know or in school. And then they're going to create the other half of the scene. They're going to answer that question. All right, and then you're going to carry on until you have 5, 6, 7, 8 slides finished, depending on what grade you're in. And you're asking and answering all the questions required that are in the directions. Okay. So for 6th grade, 7th grade, wie heißt du, wie alt bist du, woher kommst du, wo wohnst du, wie kommst du zur Schule? And then for 8th grade, there's a few more questions. So for 7th grade, this is review. Actually, during the pandemic, the ones that I would have had, this might be new for you, but that's okay. And then for 6th grade, this is going to be new content. So that is the project. I am open for questions. Please, please, please send me any questions that you'd like. I will add a questions parking lot so you can put them there so that your classmates can see them. It might get complicated, but take a deep breath. Don't stress out. I'm here to help. I can answer you back with screencasts, video messages to make it easier to understand the explanations. All right, so there you have it. Your cycle 3 assignments, the enrichment, the activity board. I will add a questions parking lot and your instructions page with the Schoology and Hornet badges. All right. Guten Abend. Ich wünsche euch eine gute Nacht. Tschüss.